I hope everybody had a great weekend. This is Sundal from Substance Over Style, and today, topic of the video is, well, I don't think it's particularly controversial, but some people seem to think it's controversial. A couple of my friends sent me, told me about this Coldplay song, Coldplay and Beyonce collaboration that is causing a little bit of a stir amongst the Desi community, who are accusing it of cultural appropriation. Now, I decided to chime in because my friends know that I'm a little bit versed on the issues of cultural appropriation. And as a Desi, I thought I could lend my voice. Now, I am, for anybody who's just tuned in and doesn't know me, I am diasporic South Asian. Three of my grandparents were born in Punjab, in what is now India. One of my grandparents was born in England, which is why I am British Asian. I was born in Pakistan, but I identify as British, Pakistani, and Indian. Like, I don't feel like I have to choose one. I like to identify as all three. So the video was filmed in Bombay, where I have lived currently I'm based in London, but I've lived in Bombay probably for about a year in total. I've been, split out over two 6-month periods. And yeah, it's one of the cities that I like to call home. I'm moving back there again this year. That's where, I was getting a lot of work as a model. So yeah, I feel like I have some sort of qualification to make this video. So now that I've got that out of the way, is this video cultural appropriation or is it cultural appreciation? Personally, I think, and now don't be offended, but to the people that are saying that this is cultural appropriation, I think y'all need to sit the fuck down and pipe down, and you need to learn how to pick your battles, because this isn't one of them. For people who are genuinely concerned about issues of genuine cultural appropriation and perpetuating harmful racist stereotypes, this isn't one of them. You're making us look ridiculous, and this is not helping the fight for racial equality. If I want to talk to somebody about why them wearing a sacred Native American war bonnet is problematic, they're going to hit me back with, oh, this cultural appropriation nonsense is so out of hand. And they're going to start talking about this. They're going to start talking about how that yoga class in Chicago got banned, which again is ridiculous, even though I do think that there are aspects of problematic aspects of the cultural appropriation of yoga. I don't think the class should have been banned. So things like this are not helping, they're hurting. So please just sit the fuck down. Yes, it's perpetuating some stereotypes about India that are, very stereotypical, spirituality, poverty, holy festival. But, in defense of that, anybody who travels to India for the first time, those are the things that stand out. And those are the things that attract people to India. I saw some people on Twitter saying, come on, Chris Martin, you've been to the nightclubs in India. You know that we don't just dance on the street. Of course, there's, India has a great nightlife. Of course, there's normal people who just go to their normal jobs and just do normal shit. It's not just all poverty on the streets. But if Chris Martin wanted to make a video about people in nightclubs, he would have gone to Berlin to do that. He wouldn't have gone to India. They want to go to India because they want to capture what India is famous for. And personally, I think they've done a great job. I think it's a beautiful video that captures what I find so beautiful about my ancestral homeland. And I don't think that that's a negative thing. There are always going to be some stereotypes that exist. And I don't see, maybe I'm wrong and I'm open to debate on this. I don't see how they're perpetuating stereotypes that are actually harmful. For example, with the Native American war bonnet, that is actually harmful because that is a community of people that have suffered genocide, who are still living in the land of their oppressor. Their ancestral homeland is being repeatedly encroached on. Their rights are being repeatedly stripped away. They're continually oppressed. And, now people want to take their sacred costumes and wear them as a fucking thing that they can wear to a rave. You want to talk about problematic. this is fucking problematic. This is an event that was advertised recently in London that I was actually going to quite a lot. I was actually volunteering with, that claims to be a consciousness spiritual event. It's a morning rave, kind of like a sort of ecstatic, it's like a spin-off of the ecstatic dance sort of trend. It claims to be, like, its aim is to raise the consciousness of humanity by putting a racist costume on its flyer. That is genuine cultural appropriation. And if people don't understand how the appropriation of the war bonnet is actually hurting Native American people, please do some research. You can watch this documentary, not documentary, you can watch this episode of the Oprah Winfrey Show and hear it from First Nations people themselves, why they find it offensive to their culture. And if you still haven't got the message, then you can check out this blog, and this First Nations girl will explain in no uncertain terms exactly how these stereotypes hurt her culture. Like, you want to talk about a problematic music video that portrays India in a stereotypical light, like, look at this shit. Like, this is the shit that should be coming under fire. But I didn't see any, like, maybe I missed that memo. I didn't see any controversy surrounding this video. I mean, look at this, like, you know, she's dancing in this, like, I'm a belly dancer kind of way. You know, all the girls are dressed in something that I've never seen any Indian, real life Indian person ever wearing. You've got the white girl in the middle with all the brown girls around her, like, you know, they're her ladies in waiting or something like that. And it's just offensive. And then the fucking lines of the song, we all need somebody to lean on. If that isn't a slap in the face, you know, referring to, you know, 300 years of British colonialism and how Britain was made great by plundering India for its resources, I don't know what is. You know, that's cultural appropriation. That's what we should be talking about. Not this video, which is actually quite beautifully done, in my personal opinion. And let's not also forget, like, I don't know how familiar people are with Chris Martin, but I think the guy's a dude. Like, I mean, personally, I don't really like Coldplay's music because it's all just very samey and a bit whiny. But I think Chris Martin is a dude. Like, you know, about 10 years ago when I was doing sort of environmental activism work, we got the opportunity to guest edit an issue of The Big Issue. And one of the girls interviewed Chris Martin, and he's a top guy, like, and he's been doing so much to promote fair trade and social inequality. Like, I think we got to hand it to him. Like, he's made like, if you've ever been to Bombay, you know that certain parts of Bombay do not look as good as they made it look in the video. Like, certain parts of Bombay look horrific, especially with all the scores of people that live on the street. I know that's not the only side of Bombay. I know that there's lots of other beautiful things, but as, you know, a British person who'd never been to India before, when I saw Bombay, I was shocked at the inequality. And, you know, if people want to show what Bombay is really like, they'd make it look a lot worse than this. So I think we should be glad that they made it look this good, personally. Like, you know, people aren't going to like me saying that, but, you know, that is the truth. I don't see how this video is hurting our culture. I think it's promoting tourism to India. I think it's, you know, it's made us look beautiful in a world where we are continually oppressed and marginalized and branded as terrorists, which is actually what one of the commenters said on Twitter, like in a, what did she say? Let's see. Above and Beyonce, I adore Beyonce for embracing my culture. In a country where I'm a terrorist, I have never felt more accepted. Now, some people would argue that we shouldn't need appropriators to make our culture acceptable. People should just stop being racist. But unfortunately, we live in a white supremacist society that continually perpetuates racist stereotypes in order to promote, firstly, imperialistic foreign policy, and secondly, the exploitation of people of colour in developing nations. Talking about cultural appropriation in a fucking music video is distracting from those real issues. Those are the things that we should be talking about. We should be talking about genuine cultural appropriation, about when, you know, fashion designers from privileged Western backgrounds travel to developing countries like Indonesia or India and see amazing cultural traditions like embroideries and batiks and appropriate it and say that they designed it, while it was actually made by, you know, hardworking, impoverished people that are earning, you know, that aren't even earning a minimum wage. You know, in Cambodia, we have women garment workers who are paid less than half of a living wage. Like, that's what we should be talking about. So if people want to talk about how Hymn for the Weekend is cultural appropriation, use it as a starting point to talk about the deeper issues. Don't just go, this is disrespecting my culture because Beyonce is dressing up as an Indian person. Like, for a start, Beyonce is not even white, so she's not perpetuating a Eurocentric beauty standard that is continually used to perpetuate colorism in the South Asian community, which is, for people who don't realise, the idea that dark skin is ugly and white skin is, the fairer your skin is, the more beautiful you are, which is the legacy that British colonialism left behind. Basically, the more you look like your colonizer, the more superior you are. And this has been used to continually oppress people via the Indian caste system, you know, based on the colour of their skin. I mean, it's a complicated issue because it's not only about colour, but colorism definitely plays into it. And there is a lot of discrimination in India based around colorism and the caste system. You know, those are the things that we should be talking about. So if you want to talk about this video, don't obscure the real issues, because otherwise you're just going to make everybody who is still fighting for racial equality look like a bunch of crazy, oversensitive social justice warriors, and that is not the aim. Okay, so I hope I've given you some food for thought. I think that's all I want to say on that. Let me know your comments. Have I missed any important points? Are they perpetuating harmful stereotypes? What do you think? Like, I'm, you know, willing to admit that I'm not the authority on this subject. So I'm open to discussion. Let's start a discussion in the comments below. Do you think that this is cultural appreciation? Give this video a thumbs up. If you think it's appropriation, leave me a comment and let me know why, and let's talk this one out. All right, thank you beautiful people for tuning in, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.